How's it going, honey? Happy hump day. Welcome back. Oh, my baby has arrived. My babies, all 35 of them. My caftans are here. They're literally right there. I'm looking at them. Sorry in advance. I'm wearing really fabulous earrings, but what's a girl to do? Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. I have my caftans. I have 35 of them. They are so beautiful. The material is gorgeous. The cut is perfect. They're made with French seams. They have a hip hem, dead stock silk fabrics. Like, you guys, we are talking the crème de la crème, okay? They're beautiful. I tried on every single one, and I was like, when I tried one on, I was like, this is my favorite. And then I tried on a new one, and I was like, this is my favorite. And then I tried on a new one and I was like, no, this is my favorite. I think I really picked materials that just kind of go with your mood, that kind of go with the season. And I'm so excited. I'm having a photo shoot this Friday. That way I can dance in them. I can move in them. I can take a photo in them. You can see how they look on the body. And I'm so excited. And I am talking with someone, and it's in the works, that I'm going to have a launch party. Doesn't that sound fabulous? Champagne, treats, showing off the caftan. So if you're in LA, or if you know anyone that's in LA that wants to come to the launch party, when those details are out, which maybe it'll be like in a week or two, I'll let you know, okay? We need time. We need a photograph. We need to build a site real quick. We need to have a launch party. There's so much that still needs to be done. I have a product, I have the packaging, now I just need the photos and the press and all of that. But I'm proud of myself. I feel I've had this idea for, I think, 20 years. And you know what? I just read something that said the shorter time it goes between idea and execution, the more successful it is. But once we decided we are going to have a dressing gown line, but it took us a year to get those gowns in my room. Isn't that crazy? A year. That just goes to show that shit takes a long time. So if there's something that you want to do it now. We're just monkeys on a rock floating in space. We're literally floating in space. I thought about that this morning too. Do you ever have really random thoughts? And I'm like, nothing is holding us up. We're not falling. We're just like suspended in the universe on this rock. It is so weird to me. And it's not gravity, or is it? And I don't know what it is. But honey, all I know is we're on this rock. So do what you want, In news, my sister came this weekend, and I had just a fabulous time with my sister. And opposites attract, okay? With my husband and I, my husband, I had to tell him, you have to stop wearing stains. You have to stop wearing shirts or shorts that feature stains. I get it. You're a basic t-shirt and short kind of guy. I'm a sequin and crazy earring and hair headband kind of girl. We love each other for who we are. And that's fine if you don't want to get dressed, but what you can't be is dirty, right? So don't wear stains. I'm like, bitch, you ain't Monica Lewinsky. Okay, we're not doing this. If you dribbled something and the stain doesn't come out, you have to throw that t-shirt away. It's from fucking Target anyways. Who cares? So I did make that a mantra in our relationship. And my other closest relationship is my sister and I. I'll actually put a picture right here for those of you that are watching along. See? She's about 5'7". She's blonde. She's very lean. She's very long and tall, which takes after my dad's side. My dad was very tall and lean. And I take after the Italian side. I'm short. I'm stocky. She lives in Texas. I live in California. You can imagine the differences there. But we just love each other. And we come from, so even though a lot of our views are very different, I think it's actually a really beautiful practice that you can love people and have people in your life that believe differently than you, that think differently than you. To me, that makes life and world more colorful because they have a certain opinion about something and you go, you know what? I hear you here, but I disagree here. And you know what? We agree to disagree, but it doesn't matter because we love each other. So we don't let all that other stuff get in the way. All we focus on is loving each other. It's a spiritual practice on acceptance, on growth, and on love. And I think it's really lovely. I don't do politics. I don't do any political point of view because I believe in the human race and I believe in love. That's what I subscribe to. So for me, I'm like, that way or that way, it's this way. It's in the heart. And I know a lot of people are like, that's a cop out, but it's not. Anyways, and that's as political as you'll ever hear me get because I love people. I love humanity. I love the good people of this world. I take it each all on an individual basis. And I'm just like, do you have good energy? Do you have good vibe? Are you based in love and spirituality and growth? Because I tell you something, I have my sister and I, whenever we disagree, we tell each other and then we apologize. And I don't care. I don't know what party that is, but that is a responsible party of oneself to stand up for your mistakes. I'm going off on a tangent. Lord, I might need to eat. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where this is all coming from, but my sister came in town. We had a fabulous time. We ate and drank, and let me tell you, we went to Pickwick and we shopped until we dropped. We got there at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. and we left at 5:30, you guys. We shopped until we dropped. We had so much fun. We were laughing. We were talking to people. We were trying things on. We were spending. We were eating. We were drinking. We were being merry. And that was just, maybe if everyone shopped together, it would be a better, world, okay? That's my political stance. And maybe if everyone shopped Dear Juju's caftans, maybe the caftans are going to bring the whole world together. I'm joking, of course. I just had a lovely weekend with my sister, just loving on each other, talking about stuff. And we went out to dinner with my husband. And you know what she said? She said something that was so funny because we were talking about having a relationship and being kind of at that place with 2 young kids. And she said, you should do this anytime you can afford it. Once a month, once a quarter, once a year. But it's really important that you get a babysitter to watch your kids, maybe for the day. Maybe you spend the night, maybe you don't because all you're doing is sleeping. But you get a hotel room. You have some sexy time. You order room service. You watch TV. You talk. You play games. You just have a section of time that you really block off. The problem is with check-in, though, with these hotels. They'd be checking in at like 4 p.m. But if you can get one maybe with a pool, say we're checking in today, lay at the pool, enjoy yourselves, relax. Maybe the room is ready early. Maybe the sitter can pick up the kids from school. And she said, I think because she's been married 27 years and her husband love each other so much. And I said, what's your one piece of advice? She said, my one piece of advice is as many times as you can, spend some quality time together. She's like, even go, since you have little kids, try to go a little bit more so and stretch it out of just like, we're going to dinner, we come home. She's like, really make a meal out of it. Get a hotel room if you can. Book it if you can find on like Hotels Tonight for $100 and something bucks. Sit at the pool, relax, let your sitter pick them up, and then you can come home maybe that night if you can afford an overnight, even better if you have someone to watch them. But I just thought that was really, I said, that's really beautiful because she says, my husband and I focus on each other and loving each other. And they have 3 beautiful children, high achievers, really cool, really like awesome kids. And it's just like, how the hell did you do that in this day and age? So she's a little bit older. She's 8 years my senior. So what am I? I'm 41. She's 49, going to be 50. And she has 3 kids that are also older. So they're empty nesters. So that was her piece of advice. And I said, may I pass that on in my podcast? Because I think that's really beautiful. And she said, you and your husband's relationship or any kind of marriage, your partner needs to come first, kids come second. Even though kids take over your whole life and they're your whole heart and what's on the top does trickle down. So if you love each other and you're kissing on each other and you're having fun and you're laughing and you're having a good time with life, that's going to trickle down into the energy of the household. It's going to trickle down into the kids, and it's going to trickle down of just the good vibes and love that you're putting out there. And I thought, touche, touche. I don't know who I'm speaking to and if you need to hear that. So that's it. That's all I've been doing is picking up my caftans and hanging out with my sister. And it was just the best week. But I really want to talk about what I ate and what I drank this week and what you're going to make this week. So let's get into some domestic goddessness, darling. Oh, and by the way, I'm getting my nails done tomorrow. Hallelujah. All right, cooking. We are making chicken tortilla soup. You guys, I have the best recipe from my neighbor. I'm telling you, I said this in the last podcast. She's missing her calling. Okay, so here's what you do. You get 2 red onions, 5 really big or 7 tomatoes, and a bulb of garlic. And what you're going to do is you're going to put that in the oven and you're going to roast it for 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even 40. Keep an eye on it until it's really good and roasted when it looks beautiful with a little bit of dark spots on it, because that's flavor. You're going to take all those, including the juices on the pan, put them into a blender, and you're going to zip it up. What you're going to add to that blender as well is 3 chipotles in adobo sauce. You can find this anywhere. Put those in, and that adds like a smokiness and a roundness to it as well. That's really lovely. Separately, you're going to need 5 pasilla ancho chilies. And what you do is you put them in the pan. You kind of toast them a little bit to give them a little flavor, nuttiness, and then you put like half a cup of water where they can rehydrate and kind of get all juicy again. Then once those are ready, you're going to put those in your blender and blend that as well. Now you have your base for the tortilla soup. Then I like to saute in onion and garlic. Corn off the cob is best, a zucchini, and if you guys have never had chayote, Chayote, Chayotta. If you have any kind of Latin supermarket near you, they'll know what I'm talking about. Chayotta. I didn't even know this vegetable existed, okay? That's how bomb my neighbor is. And I cut that. It's kind of tastes like somewhere in between a potato and a zucchini. It's really lovely. And I cut that up and I put that in and saute that as well. And if you can't find that, you can always just use a potato. So take all the blended veggie mix, pour that in. Once that's all beautifully sauteed, add vegetable or chicken broth stock, add some bay leaves, and let that all just simmer. Now, this is the part, if you want to make it vegetarian, you just serve with all your toppings and it's beautiful. Some crispy chip toppings, a Greek yogurt or sour cream, an avocado, a little drizzle of something hot. Like that's really fun to serve. Some cilantro. But I like to then add chicken and make it chicken tortilla soup. So then I had my whole chicken in that. The chicken falls apart. The chicken gets into all that tomatoes, and it's just the most beautiful thing. And it's that time of year again. Make that tortilla soup. You will not be disappointed. It is the most beautiful, most lovely thing you've ever seen in your life. Now, cocktails. Paper plane. This is so lovely for this in-between kind of summer fall situation that we're in here right now in the Northern Hemisphere. And what's so great about it, these are cocktails that I love. I hate when it's like an ounce and a half, and then a half, and then a half, and then 3/4, and then 1 ounce. And you're just like, what? It's a little confusing, but it becomes a staple in my house when it's like an ounce, an ounce, an ounce, an ounce. Bob's your uncle. This one is 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. But you could just make it an ounce and make it a big old cocktail. And that's what I'm doing. Now, so it's supposed to be 3/4, but I'm just going to say 1 ounce. Okay. 1 ounce of bourbon of your choosing. 1 ounce of Aperol. I mean, how much do we love that? 1 ounce of an Amaro. I suggest Amaro Nino. I also have a Verna. It's kind of whatever you have on hand. But if you're just buying it just to have it for fall, get you an Amaro Nino. And then the last one is an ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Okay? Whiskey and lemon go together beautifully. Aperol and lemon, beautiful. Citrus and an Amaro, beautiful. Aperol and an Amaro, beautiful. Whiskey and Aperol. Like this is a colorful fall kind of looking, but it warms the back of the throat. The whiskey and the bourbon gives like a warming feeling. The Aperol gives a little medicinal. The Amaro definitely gives a fall feel, but that lemon juice just kind of cuts it. We had it this weekend. It was divine. Paper plane, honey. I fly like paper, get high like planes. Try a paper plane. You'll be so happy that you did. Okay, decor. So I got a question on my phone from the Google number that I give out to you, 323-515-9338. Hit me up. And this is what she said. She bought her house and a cabinet came with it. She moved the cabinet that was from the previous owners and she found the most ugly AC unit. Then she bought a new cabinet. Then she took a picture of the new cabinet and the AC unit that was just an eyesore. And she's like, Juju, do you have any decor advice for me? We just got our new cabinet. We pulled the other one out. Now we have this eyesore. And I said, okay, you can replace it or cover it. Like that's your only choices here. So clearly the best bet is to pull it out and re-drywall and repaint. And I understand that that's a lot. And maybe when you're just moving a house, you need to save up or do something like that. So I don't think that that was the option. I was like, so the only other option is to cover it. And the way that her new cabinet was, she couldn't put art or anything in front of it. So I told her drapes because it was on either side of this huge window. And I'm like, girl, just put drapes there. Sometimes people put drapes just so people think that there's a window in some hotel rooms. Like, go for the drape situation. So I just want to say, if you have something that's an eyesore in your home that you can't get rid of, replace it or cover it. Find a way. Find a way. Art is a good way. A piece of furniture is a good way. Drapes are a good way. Those are great ways to cover maybe something that you're not really loving in your house. And it's just a good reminder of like, oh yeah, I have something that's really ugly. I'm going to put some art over it. And one time I did do that. I put art over a huge AC unit because I was renting. That's all I could do. And there was no window next to it. So those are my little tips for something in your house if you're not loving it. Cover it, replace it. And if you do cover it, art, furniture, or drapes. Okay? Okay, here we go. Dear Juju, have you started looking for homes in London yet? It's funny you should ask. We have talked to so many people, everyone. And basically we need to be on the west of London because his production studios are kind of far out on the west. So the west of London it is. But my husband and I decided today that I am going to possibly go out there and see. So we have to get into an apartment ASAP because that determines if our kids can get in those schools, and it all like one thing leads to another. And my husband was like, before we sign on the dotted line for a place, which that basically locks us in for at least 2 years, 3 years, because then our kids are going to be going to school there. I feel like you should go out and look because there's some other places that other people have said are charming. Ealing is really convenient. There's Fulham that's also people have said is cute, but in the north there's Queen's Park, which is kind of fun and lively. And it's like pinning the tail on the donkey. It's just like, all right, this area, because people have told me that. And my husband's like, maybe we shouldn't go on people's advice and maybe you should go out there for a week. So I might be taking a trip to London town, which would be so great because then I would have so much to talk about, and make sure that we're landing in an area that's right for our family, that's right for our vibe, and that's right for our son and daughter. It's all going to be coming up so soon. Oh my gosh. I think December sometime is our move date. And I just can't believe it. It's crazy. Dear Juju, I tend to over apologize even when I'm not in the wrong. How do you suggest I break the habit of feeling guilty for everything? Okay, now this is a woman that is writing this. And I think it's just a temperament of our frickin' day and age. Don't get me started. You know, thank God we live in 2024 and there's the internet. And what's really good is to replace it every time. The first step to any change is being aware. Like if you're about to say sorry, like sorry I'm late, you say thank you so much for being patient. You know, this and this and this happened. So you make it about them and what they were, which connects to their feelings rather than you just saying sorry. So first you have to be aware. And like a bad habit, you just got to stop. And then whatever you're saying sorry for, replace it for something that they did, especially if you're not in the wrong. If you're not in the wrong, that just needs to stop altogether, girls. Seriously. Instead of saying sorry because you don't know what else to say, get in touch with what you're really trying to say. If someone is snappy to you and you feel the need to say sorry, that's a big problem and you have to kind of work on that. But what I think would be better is if you could get in touch with yourself and say, hey, I'm not really loving the way that we're communicating, right? Because then you're getting it out there and you're standing up for yourself. And when you stand up for yourself, that builds confidence. Because someone who's always over apologizing, in my book, has a big confidence issue. You feel like you have to people please. You feel like you have to excuse yourself for your behavior constantly to be liked or be managed. And that's just simply not true. So be aware, just stop. Say what you mean. Every time it'll get easier and easier, and that's how you build confidence. And then if you are in the wrong, take the whole word sorry out of your vocabulary. And then you could admit it wrong by saying, I really apologize for being late. Just saying sorry, because sorry becomes just a filler. And this is what I've actually stopped doing with my kids too. I don't say anymore, go say sorry. I don't say that. I say, go make it right. And you know how you can make it right? You can make it right by checking on her, letting her know that that was an accident, seeing if she's okay, instead of being like, go say sorry to your sister. And then it becomes just like, check a box, sorry, right? Sorry, not sorry. Dear Juju, I've been known to accidentally put my foot in my mouth at social events. I'm laughing because I do the same. How can I keep the mood light and avoid awkward moments? Honey, this is life. There's no avoiding it. This is not what you want to hear. Sometimes you say some shit, you know? And if you did too much or you drank too much and that's why you were saying too much, just notice within yourself how that felt and maybe do something a little different. Like last time I drank way too much champagne in an event and kept going, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird. And I could feel people around me being like, oh, okay. And that made me feel a certain way. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't drink as much when I go out. But also the people around you should be able to accept you for who you are. And if you put your foot in your mouth, I like to own it right away because I can read from the other person if that was awkward, if that was too much, or if I've done too much, or whoever you put your foot in your mouth in front of, that you were aware of the situation. And I think that's what anyone is really looking for, is vulnerability, honesty, and awareness, right? And then other than that, you're human. And I would also say to the thing before, I heard something once that said, you feel guilty because of your innocence that is inside you. You yourself are innocent, right? And you are so innocent inside that that's why you feel guilty, is because of your natural bred innocence. I mean, if you didn't, you'd be a fucking sociopath. So it's actually a good thing that you feel guilty or feel bad or feel like you put your foot in your mouth. That means you're being aware. You're checking in, you're noticing, and you're innocent inside. So these are all good things. And sometimes you do that. Sometimes you're a bit too much. Sometimes you drink too much. Sometimes you put your foot in your mouth. Okay, last one. Dear Juju, my wardrobe is full of basics, but I want to bring more personality into my style. What pieces should I start with? You know what? Basics are actually the base to a really glamorous wardrobe. So a lot of times I start with jackets and dusters, especially we're going into fall. This is going to be the perfect scenario for you to go to a vintage or get a fur stole or get a duster, get something that feels glamorous that you can put over all black, that you can put over all brown, that you can put over all tan, that you can put over all like winter cream or winter white. Basics are really good and completely necessary. So on top, duster, a robe, a cape, a poncho, like those are things where you can add your glamour on top. And then if you want to be sophisticated underneath, then you can show that side too. I think it's really important to have basics. So don't discredit it and just think of this as the foundation of your glamour wardrobe. But what you have to do now is, now that you have all the basics and some basics, jeans, jean shirt, get glamorous accessories, coats, glasses, headpieces, head wraps, ponchos, scarves. That's where you can add in your glamour. Shoes, right? If those are all glamorous, like look at these earrings. Let's be honest. I could have these earrings with jeans and a t-shirt, okay? And it would be glamour town, and a blazer, like even more basic. But because I have these earrings on, it just feels like glamour town. So Add the glamour puss in the accessories and keep your basics as your foundation. You're already there. Okay. All right. That's the podcast. I got to take my kids to the dentist. My son has his first cavity, so I got to get out of here. I love you. Don't forget that you're a star, bitch. Don't forget you're a star. Stop saying sorry. If you have to, apologize for your behavior, but really thank people and just cut that shit out. Okay? Don't forget a drapes to hide some eyesore. Make a paper plane. Make some tortilla soup. It's the perfect time. And it's good for the waistline too. I mean, we're in soup season. Nothing more fun than that. I love you and I'm out. Mwah!